Okay, we are still in June, even though it's July 1st. I read these in June. So, book 105 is Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. This was a very interesting book, also very short, it's under 200 pages. I really don't know anything about TB. I've been tested a couple times with a little skin test because, I've been exposed by somebody who had it, but I know nothing about it. So I was shocked to read that over 1 million people every year still die of TB. Now, in the U.S., it's only about 500, but in much poorer countries that don't have great healthcare systems and don't have access to the expensive cures, a ton of people are still dying from this curable disease, which is crazy to me. It's basically a bacterial infection. So the first line treatment is a series of older antibiotics that have been around a long time, and they should be cheap because they're off patent and they've been around a long time. And the problem is, for a variety of reasons, you get drug-resistant tuberculosis, and you need to use the second-line treatment. And these are newer antibiotics, and the book goes into it, but basically the manufacturer price is so high that a lot of these countries just cannot afford the treatment. And if those second-line don't work, there is a third treatment, but basically only rich countries can afford it. So it's very fascinating to me. It's definitely a rich man, poor man type situation currently. It wasn't that way back in the day. It's many, many, many people died from tuberculosis because it's very contagious. And it's kind of how it was. But it was a really fascinating book. I gave it a 4. I highly recommend it. Book 106 is The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. It's the first of a series. And it's about this eternal library. It is complicated. And it focuses on 2 characters. Laveria, who is from the dust, and she is brought to the city and becomes a librarian apprentice, essentially. And then Ivar, who is trapped in the library through something called the mechanism. And it turns out there's all these portals that are present in the library that basically allow you to time travel, though it's not clear that you're time traveling. The book was interesting. I ended up giving it like a 3.5. It's a relatively complicated story. It was good enough that I decided to go on and read the next book. So book 107 is The Book That Broke the World by Mark Lawrence. So this is the second book in the series, and it continues the story of Laveria and Ivar. It also introduces 2 new characters that explain something that happened in the first book. Again, the library is existing. There's all these portals that seem to have some time travel situation to it. There is this underlying war that's going on. It was kind of okay for me. I gave it a 3, but I didn't enjoy it enough to read the last book, so I am not going to finish the series.